Hi guys, and welcome to Classic Rock and Country Music Facts and Trivia. Going to do one on, I don't think I've done one on him before. Kenny Rogers. You might remember him, and if you didn't know him in the country version, I don't know why you wouldn't, but remember Kenny Rogers in the first edition. Kind of a rockish band. A good singer, good bass player. But did you know that he used to call the Playboy guest house just to talk to random playmates? Though the traditional Playboy magazine no longer runs in print, founder and CEO Hugh Hefner passed away in 2017. The brand recognition and influence still continues. Playboy, do you remember Playboy more for the influence Hef's reality TV show with his former girlfriends on E! Called The Girls Next Door, which starred Holly Madison, Bridget Marquardt, and Kendra Wilkinson, starting in 2005. It's been over 10 years since the three girls appeared in an episode, and the show no longer runs, aside from the random reruns. But Holly and Bridget now have their own podcast called Girls Next Level, where they talk about their time in the infamous Playboy Mansion. They told a funny little story about country music's own Kenny Rogers and his connection to Playboy. Holly referenced Kenny's hit song Gambler when talking about a story from her days at the mansion, which led her to talking about Kenny, along with plenty of other male celebrities who used to call up the Playboy guest house quite often. When Jenny McCarthy was living there in the early to mid-90s, all the Playmates and girls appearing in the magazine lived in the guest house because Hef was married at the time. They changed once he was single again. And apparently famous men used to call the main house and be patched through to any random Playmates room in the guest house during that time, which is kind of funny but not surprising. Speaking of even though I'm not a country music person, I'd listen to Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers all day. Did you ever hear the story Jenny McCarthy told about how Kenny Rogers used to call the Playmate guest house? Way back in the day, Jenny was shooting for Playmate back in the 90s. This was when Hef was married, so the Playmates weren't allowed in the main house that often. They kind of were stuck in the guest house. And she said that celebrity men would call the mansion and just be patched through to random rooms in the Playmate guest house because they just wanted to talk to the Playmates and meet Playmates that way. Isn't that weird? And one of them was Kenny Rogers. Bridget responded, okay, that is creepy. Not Kenny Rogers, but just the fact that random dudes, celebrity dudes, would call to the guest house and just be patched through. They're just hoping that one of the girls is going to be like, oh, Kenny Rogers, could you come over here right now so I can F you? Well, that's definitely a fair and probably tongue-in-cheek point. I kind of think that's exactly what they thought, and Holly seemingly agreed. A lot of them went on dates with those guys, wouldn't you think? Because if you're like a young girl from the middle of nowhere and celebrity calls up, especially if it's one you like, you might be like, oh yeah, I'll go out with you. I bet people went out with the guys. I know Playmates who slept with celebrities in the guest house. Rogers was married 4 times in his life and was married to actress Marianne Gordon from 77 to 93. He married Wanda Miller in 97. So the timeline of him calling the guest house definitely lies up to the time when he was single and ready to mingle. And seeing as Playboy was known for having the most beautiful women in the world grace the cover, it was probably worth a shot. Hey, I don't call him the Gambler for nothing. The only reason I did this was because I thought this was very strange. And I still think it's very strange. I don't condone it. I think Playboy was trash. And I just a trashy magazine. And I just, for kids, and they shouldn't be seeing it, but my opinion only. But I just thought it was kind of a very strange, so I just want to put it out there. So anyway, I won't say enjoy, but I hope you got something out of this. Please subscribe if you have not yet. Please like this video. I appreciate it. You guys have a great day. God bless you, and I'm praying for you.